Oh, what an unbelievable night of wrestling. This is my review for Night of Champions 2025. My name is Sancho West, and welcome to Sancho West Wrestling. Let's go ahead and start with the entire card of itself. What a fun, unexpected banger of a PLE. You know, we went into this kind of wondering what's going to happen. So many matches are getting canceled left and right, and all of a sudden, boom, this card gets put together, and a lot of the matches added last minute. And I got to say, some of those late minute additions really helped round out this card, and I absolutely loved it from top to bottom. And I'm sure a lot of you may be wondering, what did I feel about Karrion Kross and things of that sort? We'll get into that. Let's go ahead and kick off with the opening match, which was a big surprise. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the King of the Ring finals. And this was kind of this match that kind of reminded me of that AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes. It was slow, it was methodical. The Saudi crowd was amazing. They were singing at the top of their lungs, and what a perfect match to start off the night to get that energy going. But when it gets down to the bare bones of it, it's one of those matches where Randy Orton is going to be hampered by a back injury like he sold at the Elimination Chamber in Perth, and it basically hobbled him the entire time. And even people during my watch party were wondering, is Randy Orton really hurt? I was like, no, Randy Orton is just really good at selling his back. And I like the idea of this subtle layer of the storytelling of Cody Rhodes taking advantage of that. Even the Saudi crowd did not like Cody Rhodes going in for those back shots and things of that sort that were really building up that drama between it. Now, I do wish they kind of leaned into that a little bit harder. They didn't really get all the way with that, which this happens a theme of the night that I wish they would pull the trigger on some of the things. Even though typical baby step kind of booking from Triple H, there were still great strides made throughout the entire night. So eventually, when Cody Rhodes, it all breaks down to it, you get this whole nice back and forth, and then they were setting up, you could tell the entire night, they were setting up the disaster kick, the Cody cutter, that's going to be countered into RKO, and there was some quite close 3-count false finishes here that throughout the entire night, and I absolutely love that Cody cutter reversed into the RKO. There was even a clean at the very beginning, the RKO attempt reverse into the crossroads. But one of the things that the biggest mile, kind of like a checkpoint of this match, is where Randy Orton had to see, hey, am I going to do a punt kick or not? And this is kind of a story that we've been kind of dancing around ever since we had that battle between Kevin Owens way before WrestleMania. And then we thought we were going to get the punt kick at WrestleMania, but he went up against Joe Henry. So here we are again. Is the voices in the head of Randy Orton will take over to drive and get a punt kick? And that doesn't happen. And the most perplexing part of this entire match, which I didn't agree with, and I'm not sure if you did, just let me know in the comments down below, is where they decided to make Randy get frustrated. Even though he was in total control of the match, despite being put into a figure four, he was in control of the match, and he decides to go to the outside of the ring to grab a chair right in front of Charles Robinson's face. And then when the chair gets pulled from him, he goes for an exposed turnbuckle move, which Cody then throws him into it. And then all of a sudden you get a crossroads from there, and then 1, 2, 3, Cody Rhodes win. He's your new King of the Ring. Now, I did make a video previously how I feel that the King of the Ring should be more about the mid-carder, and King Cody, they're not going to do anything with it. Didn't even put the crown on himself. King Cody doesn't have that kind of pomp and circumstance you would expect from the King of the Ring, considering that the King of the Ring PLE is just the finals. It doesn't have this gauntlet type vibe. You can't really feel like it's a big celebration that we just crowned a new King of the Ring. Instead, it just felt like a formality. I did enjoy the promo after where Cody Rhodes is saying, I'm sorry, I'm beating your favorites. I beat Jey Uso, I beat Randy Orton, but I'm here to get the ball back. I like that promo, and I like the idea of Randy kind of looking back on it. The one thing that we could kind of tether onto going forward is this idea that Cody Rhodes was able to make that decision and take advantage of it, and something that Randy Orton could hold on to and possibly lead to a heel turn going forward, because they thought all was going to be fair. But once Randy crossed the line, Cody go ahead and cross the line as well. And that's where I'm like, why did Randy have to do that? In your next match we had for the day, we had this one I absolutely love. We had Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley in a Saudi Arabia Boulevard street fight. And going into this match, and if you're a fan of the Wrestling School podcast, I've said throughout the entire time, maybe like a year and a half ago, I said the chemistry between Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley is off the charts. I even compared it to Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, which my co-host Santi kind of railed me for, and saying that, how can they be? But this match is a proven fact of it. Rhea Ripley does great against all the other wrestlers, Nia Jax, and she does great against smaller wrestlers like Zelina Vega and things of that sort, but there's something special of a Raquel Rodriguez that's able to throw around Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley really able to kind of unleash her full strength and display her strength by picking up Raquel Rodriguez. This match was absolutely awesome. A few of the highlights was the Macho Man spot where you had Rhea Ripley in the ropes, and then Raquel Rodriguez giving her these crazy chops, then hitting her with the kendo stick, and then the entire day, Rhea Ripley selling that ribs the entire match it was chaotic. And then there was a crazy timekeepers spot where they put the top of the commentator's table, and then all of a sudden Raquel power bombs Rhea into the timekeeper, and it was an added effect by breaking that little top hood of the commentator's table. Crazy stuff. And then Rhea Ripley literally beats Raquel Rodriguez down, and this entire time I'm like, the last women's match that happened on SmackDown is nothing come close to the street fight that they had here at Night of Champions. The ladies brought it all the way to the max. The match starts to turn when there was a prism lock from Rhea Ripley down to Raquel Rodriguez, and then out comes Roxy. My only criticism of this match, I feel like Roxy's impact didn't really matter so much, right? It should have been a little bit more. I wanted Raquel Rodriguez to have a moment like, oh my God, you're helping me. I wanted to build that out a little bit more. Instead, Rhea Ripley quickly gets control, puts Roxy in a trash can, and basically hits a Kinshasa on it, like a leg lariat, and out goes Roxy. And then the match kind of gets a little bit longer, further along. There is a spot where they set up that table and they do an avalanche, like a table avalanche, riptide, bam, Raquel Rodriguez goes down, 1, 2, 3, Rhea wins. A lot of people would argue that Rhea Ripley didn't need this win, but it's still, what gets me excited about this match is that the chemistry of Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea was on full display, and that Raquel Rodriguez definitely deserves to be a player in these conversations in the main event. When you unleash was it Big Mommy Cool, as Wade Barrett was calling it, when you unleash her, you're gonna get a great opponent for Rhea Ripley. I mean, every superhero has a great villain, and Rhea Ripley is that great superhero that needs a villain like a Raquel Rodriguez, because we cannot go down Nia Jax's route. It did not work. We cannot revisit Charlotte Flair, because that ending was perfect in WrestleMania 38, right? There's so many, 39, I'm sorry. There's so many of those opportunities that we have already exhausted, and we could really kind of venture down this road with Raquel Rodriguez. By far, my match of the night. It was that good. After that, we got Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. Now, this is one of those matches that you're just wondering, like, what's going to happen, right? How do I feel about the performance of Karrion Kross? As someone who's been a Karrion Kross stan for months and months and almost a year now, understanding that this was a time to shine, or the time to, put up or shut up moment for Karrion Kross. And I had in the back of my mind going into Night of Champions, if you saw my predictions video, is that I just really wondered that no matter the result is, if Karrion cannot execute, or the WWE more so cannot execute or produce a booking that will have Sami Zayn kind of think that he's going to be a heel or have an impact of a heel, and if it's just a clean victory for Sami Zayn over Karrion Kross, and if Karrion as a heel does something stupid, then that's basically what happened. Like, everything that could go wrong for Karrion Kross went wrong. And I also have to add to it, Sami Zayn is unbeatable, it feels like, in the Saudi area, right? That's his home court advantage. So Karrion Kross had a tall task, not only as a pro wrestler to be able to make Sami look great, but also as the heel in the story, that he has to kind of make Sami prove that he's a liar. And I don't think they did that. There was a couple of moments where Karrion was yelling at him, grabbing him. The cross jacket moment was really sick, and then Sami was able to get out of it. But the moment that kind of really deflated the sails out of the Karrion Kross boat, whatever, or the sailing boat, is a moment where Karrion's talking trash, goes into the corner, and then boom, gets haluva kick. Now, that is what a heel should be able to lose to, a pompous way, right? But the problem is, we're being booked up and we're being all these backstage segments that Karrion Kross is always 3-4 steps ahead. It wasn't even a sacrifice. Do you know what I mean? Like when AJ Styles hit him with a phenomenal forearm when it was one of his last matches before Mania, it was a sacrifice, right? It was a way to, it was clear as day that Karrion Kross meant for that to happen. The haluva kick, as if it was that Sami Zayn outsmarted him, and that's not good for this Karrion Kross, the master puppeteer, to be able to lose like that. Now, at the same time, it made Sami Zayn look like $1 million. Sami Zayn stands tall, fine. But as a Karrion Kross guy, I was hoping for a little bit more. And the last thing I want to leave about this match should not have been a Night of Champions. This would have been a perfect match to have at SmackDown. Even though the brands and things of that sort, this was a perfect main event type SmackDown, Monday Night Raw SmackDown, that would have been like, great, this is a great stepping stone for Karrion Kross. But because it was at a PLE, expectations are all-time high. And I gotta say, if you're off the Karrion Kross train, I understand. Don't let the door hit you on the backside. I'm going to still stand here for Karrion Kross, Diamond Hands. In your next match, we have Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa for the United States title. And wow, at the beginning of this match, I had this thought, and I did predict this. By the way. Check the predictions video. That we were going to get shenanigans. And I had a feeling that this was going to be a Bloodline Roman Reigns type of match, because this match was kind of coasting until we got to the shenanigans. It is a typical Bloodline story all over again, but instead of Roman Reigns being the guy, it is Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu almost substituting. It was a strange mirror match. But yes, things started to ramp up when you had the shenanigans. JC Mateo comes out. Then out comes Tonga Loa, as predicted, to make a comeback. Now, the one thing I did not predict after Jacob Fatu was able to regain control of the situation with no Jimmy, with no Jay, out comes Hikuleo. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hikuleo has always been signed with the WWE for months now. He's the big 7-footer Samoan, right? He's part of the family, and he's been waiting in the rings. Waiting in the wings for the long time. And at the same time, we've always had this notion that he was going to be joining soon. He even appeared at a main event a couple of weeks ago to see if he's ready. So, cat's out of the bag now. Hikuleo is now joining Solo Sikoa, and basically Solo Sikoa has been reloaded. You got Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, Tonga Loa, and Hikuleo. I don't know where Tama Tonga is. He did tweet, yeah, later on the timeline, but that means that Jacob Fatu is no longer United States champion, and he's going to have to reload himself to get ready for SummerSlam. And who is going to join Jacob Fatu? It's going to have to be Jimmy J. Uso, maybe a fourth. There's rumors that Zilla Fatu might be around. There's another Bloodline member as well. I think his name is Lance, is always waiting in the wings. So there's so much opportunities for this story to grow. I'm happy that it doesn't end here, that it will continue on. I really feel that some of the matches for Night of Champions were on too early, and this is one of those ones that should have been another PLE, and I'm glad this is going to extend over to the next PLE cycle. In the next match, we have Asuka versus Jade Cargill. Probably, no doubt, the downbeat of this entire night. This match felt weird to be in this great spot that it was in. It was right before John Cena versus CM Punk, and I had a gut feeling that this would be a short match. It was about a 12-minute match, and considering that it did not feel like it was Queen of the Ring worthy. It didn't have that gauntlet type vibe. Now imagine if they had the match previously before that to be able to say like the semifinals to get to the finals. I know the card would be longer. It was a perfect 3 hours, but I feel that the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring could have really benefited. Imagine if Jey Uso and Cody happened at Saudi Arabia, at Riyadh, and then you had Randy versus Cody, and then you had Randy versus Sami. Like, there were so many good opportunities to do that, to give more power to the King of the Ring, to give more power to the Queen of the Ring. The same thing for Asuka versus Alexa Bliss. Jade Cargill versus, who did she go up against? It's slipping my mind. The point I wanted to make is once the crowns were given to the King and Queen, I was like, all right. Now, the good thing between this match was that the strong style of Asuka going up against Jade Cargill's powerhouse moves, really great match. But the problem was as well is that the Saudi crowd had their favorite in Asuka, and Asuka was barely given any moments to shine. There was all those moments where she would get the armbar, but other than that, it was usually powerhouse over. The only time that Jade was able to counter it in a very kind of clever way was a pin from the Asuka lock, and then once she got that over, she counters the new move, the Empress Impact, and all of a sudden, Jade Effect, 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill is the Queen of the Ring, and I'm fine with that. I think it's a great opportunity to lean more into the Naomi side of things. I was hoping to get a Naomi appearance to be like, ha, I'm always in the shadows. I'm always watching you, Jade, always watching. But we didn't get that. Instead, it's just a clean victory of Jade, and with this very solid promo, by the way, afterwards, kind of saying that she's here and that a storm is coming for SummerSlam. So I kind of dug it. And by the way, Jade Cargill was kind of cosplaying a Storm, old X-Men 97 Storm, so W all around. Now it's time for your main event, John Cena versus CM Punk, and boy, the Saudi crowd was hyped for this. It was amazing to be able to go down nostalgia lane. Now, this started off with graps. This had a lot of simple wrestling going forward. And then I knew the second gear of this match was going to be a finisher fest, and started getting into the finisher fest. And CM Punk must have that resiliency that he used to have with Seth Rollins, where he was kicking out of everything. He kicked out of 3 AAs before it got to the shenanigans gear. And once we got to the shenanigans gear, it kind of went off the rails for me, just a hair, where it kind of didn't make any sense of why are we going down this path. We are going down a path that we are basically opening Pandora's box, and we can't put everything back in so quickly because it's basically bloodline rules all over again, but this time it's inviting so many different characters that are not have bloodline ties. So as soon as we get to the moment, the ref bump happens, the GTS happens, but there's no referee for CM Punk to kind of take advantage and win. All of a sudden, CM Punk calls down the referee, and who answers the call? Not a referee. It is Seth Rollins alongside with this faction, quote unquote, the Vision. Seth Rollins marches in. He six the dogs on CM Punk, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They put CM Punk through the table. Bam! And all of a sudden, you're like, oh no, what's going to happen, right? And out Seth Rollins calls in the referee, and out comes Charles Robinson booking it like that gift, dude. He is coming down that ramp, and bam, out of nowhere, John Cena just decleats Charles Robinson, which is a very cool thing. And all of a sudden, like, oh my God, John Cena, you're thinking with your brain. John Cena has a stare down with Seth Rollins and says, I don't think so. That's not going to happen. Boom, AA on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is down. And then there's a moment like, oh my God, what's going to happen between Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? They get the advantage of John Cena. And then guess whose music hits? It's Penta. And I'm like, Penta? What are you doing here, Penta? I guess. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, this means a perfect opportunity for LA Knight to come around because he's been feuding with the entire Seth Rollins faction. But no, that doesn't happen, my friends, not so fast. It is Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn comes out because I guess he has some of the backlash or back experience with his faction, but not as so much as on the forefront of LA Knight. I digress. Penta does this crazy dive off the ramp, which I didn't miss, the big ramp and big old screen. Absolutely love. Penta takes out Sami and Braun Breaker back in the ring. You have Bronson Reed going for a tsunami on John Cena. CM Punk, boom, dumps Bronson Reed into the ring. John Cena, hey, big old Bronson Reed. And then you have this cool moment between John Cena and CM Punk, which I was hoping that we could re-explore again after Elimination Chamber, where they shake hands like, oh, okay, cool. And then it cuts to that camera angle of John Cena, and he gets that face. You know the face that he's talking about. He's going to do something dastardly. But CM Punk, another step ahead, stops him. You're like, awesome, dude. This is going to be great. CM Punk is going to be able to overcome everything. But that dastardly Seth Rollins comes in, hits the briefcase on CM Punk, goes for a curb stomp, nails it, and then John Cena dumps Seth Rollins out of the ring. 1, 2, 3, and the referee wakes up at the right time. The first referee, 1, 2, 3. John Cena steals that opportunity away from Seth Rollins and runs away, and he is still your champion. And you know, in regards to that match, very shenanigan heavy. It kind of reminds me if I was eating something and it was so rich in flavor, you know, and now I have that itis. I have that my digestive system has been eating all this processed sugar, and I would have to say that this is a very processed sugar heavy main event when organically I thought we could have got to where we needed to be without Penta, without Sami Zayn. I mean, Seth Rollins' faction, sure, that adds to it, but it just did not make sense for Penta and Sami to get involved, and they weren't even really factors. They just slowed down the inevitable. It would have been nice just to have John Cena blow up Charles Robinson, John Cena and Cody and CM Punk working together to stop Steph's faction without the help of Penta and Sami. Shake hands, try to go at it again, and then that's when John Cena does the thing. So just a little overcooked for me when it comes to the main event. But that is your review for Night of Champions. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the night. And I appreciate all the love and support. Keep up all this, the love and the subscriptions. Tell your friends about it. I bid you adieu. I'll see you later, y'all. Peace.